everybody, and welcome to a Wednesday evening here on the Dot Lot, where we are back with some Scum and Villainy. There are so many things that I want to talk about, but before we get to all of my things and we hop into this game, let's go around, let's meet our awesome casting crew that is all made possible by you. So thanks, Patreon, and all of you that give bits and tips for making their appearance here on this channel a reality. But let's start, we're going to start at the bottom tonight. Trooper, bottom corner, your turn, you're up.
Well, I know what everybody in the audience really wants me to do, which is to introduce Teddy, the star of the show, our sort of, our bot, our little AI bot, Teddy, here you go. But Teddy's keeper is me. I'm Trooper SJP, and I am playing Dev Wallflower Ryle, the pilot of this crew, who's a little shy, a little awkward, and in a bit of a sticky situation with his ex on board the ship they just rescued.
I just remembered that.
Awkward. And his ex looks exactly like Janice.
What a coincidence.
A little younger.
Two eyes.
Awkward.
Wow.
But am I wrong?
Probably not. Adelaide, you know what? You're giggling away. Your turn. Who are you and who do you play?
I am Adelaide Gardner, Adelaide on Twitter and everywhere else. I am playing Midge Slipperio, the creator of our MVP tonight, Teddy. I invented him for my little brother, Dev. I am the captain of the Zero Gravitas and also its mechanic. And it's no more Ms. Nice Captain tonight. So
no, if I remember, well, we can recap that, but if I remember correctly, I believe you banned Janice from everything his personal quarters last game.
I did.
Got a little intense. The family's breaking up, gang.
The family's breaking up.
It'll be fine.
Speaking of Janice, Jason, how are you today?
Doing well. Jason TD and DDM from Twitterverse. Last episode was interesting. He may be a younger version, but we're not going to agree that he's a better version. So.
Oh!
Wow! Burn!
like a fine wine, gets better with age. So I'll be playing Janice tonight, and drinking alcoholic beverages from my room, and mocking his ex whenever I have an opportunity.
Playing loud emo music from his quarters.
What I just heard Jason say is, I get to mock Chelsea all night long.
Nice.
Is that what you heard? That's what I heard him say.
I like it.
Thank you out there for those subscriptions and the love you guys are showing. Thank you. Also, if you are subscribing, guess what? You get the Spoopy Dive for the month of October, which is still here, which means you can go share the spoop.
I love that spoop.
Spoop about. You just go spoop about. And last but certainly not least, JB, how you doing tonight?
Hi, I'm okay. How are you?
I mean, it's been kind of a crazy week for me. I have had a broken window in my car. I appreciate you asking me that, actually. I have had a broken window in my car for the last 3 weeks because everywhere that I've taken it has been like, oh, it's going to be a while to get the window in. So I finally found a place. And every time I've taken it up there, they've either ordered the wrong glass, the wrong window for the wrong side of the car, or like something doesn't fit. And I just really want my window fixed.
But TV commercials have told me that you can just call them and immediately they just show up wherever you're at and fix it for you while you're gone. That's what commercials say. There's even a jingle.
Well,
I'm sorry for your window woes. I know that it's rough.
Thanks, JB.
All car things are sincerely rough and suck.
Maybe one day Atlanta will get better public transportation so I can just sell my car. That would be amazing.
You know what would help is if you subscribe to the Dot Lot. Click up there where it says subscribe and make sure you do it if you have Amazon Prime. You
That's
get one
right.
free each month.
It's true. Yeah.
And it'll remind you, but you have to keep mashing that button. It's never going to remind you.
It won't ever remind you. Yeah, you have to do it on purpose. But that being said, it's free. It's free for you, but not for me.
Free. Costs zero.
It costs you zero, and I get a little something to go in the window that nobody seems to be able to fix.
I'm also Drop the Die on Twitter. Hi. Yes, come tweet at me.
Yes, thank you all so much. Yeah, and who are you playing there, JB?
Hanovi Hama. He is the muscle of the group. He is an enforcer for the Purloin Guild. Not sure how tentative that is these days. We don't know who we can trust or where we can turn to. But soon we're going to find answers one way or the other.
And I could not have said it better myself. It is true. There are a lot of questions with lots of answers or at least information that doesn't seem to be lining up. But the good news is, last game you all successfully made it through the heist. You did it! It was definitely
well,
it was shenanigans. Let's be real. It really, really was. The crew had gone into a very high security. Actually, I don't want to say high security. Top secret is probably the better word. Top secret prison that held exactly 19 prisoners. No, 19 prisoners and a 20th special one. And they were there to actually get out the special prisoner, who turned out to be some kind of space slug or worm that they managed to help escape. Only after they also, let's see if I can go through this in order. They seduced the head prison pirate. They drugged everybody.
Because we weren't going to kill anyone. We were going to do this whole mission without anyone dying.
Without anybody dying. They drugged everyone. They got the space slug out, but only after Janice blew open the machine that's actually supposed to put the space slug into its capsule so that it can survive outside of its tank. So then there was like all hands on deck to put the space slug back in its basketball size, like, mechanism, or
hamster wheel.
casing. And then on the exit out, Janice set a few explosions, but not before the team decided the best thing to do was to trip everything here, wipe the security cams. Did I get that right? And then make it look like they were never here.
Basically, we're gonna make it so that all the non-violent criminals were able to escape, so it looked like it was a prison break, and that we weren't here was like the best thing. So everyone will be fine,
and that was
like,
the plan until you locked all of the prison guards up in a single cell and set an explosion off that blew open the side of the asteroid where this place was hidden. We don't actually know how many people survived, but it was enough to give you a boost as you guys shot through space.
Probably killing everyone. I think we forgot the blood and gore that's all over Hanovi at the moment.
That's true. There's a lot of blood and gore all over Hanovi, and the four of you, along with this kind of floating spherical, it's almost like a droid, except it's not being, it's being actually, the mind of it is a creature on the inside. It's just a casing. Floats. You can hear it just like, it makes a constant buzzing noise. As the five of you are currently traveling pretty quietly, in fact, through space. Your trajectory is going to take you...
6 of us? You forgot the boyfriend.
Oh, that's right.
Ex-boyfriend.
Oh, let's not forget the boyfriend.
Ex-boyfriend.
The ex-boyfriend is also on board, who was also rescued, because the trading of him from this location to the next is what gave them the information necessary to successfully make this heist mission.
But I'm sure it's just his friends, right?
Sure. Because friends let their friends rot in a pirate prison. And, yeah, I would say that Chos has spent quite a few hours after in the bathroom or in the lavatory of the ship. And when he comes out, he somehow has shaved down or cut down the majority of the scraggly beard and his hair, looking ever more like Janice. Of course, he has 2 eyes, right?
Yeah, 2 eyes.
He's got 2 eyes. So he's the handsomer version of Janice.
How many eyes does Janice have?
Just the one.
Oh, but it's dashing. It's dashing.
I think there's just one.
Yeah, he's just got the one. And so this is an interesting little place that you're all in, because you've got quite a bit of downtime. What does everybody kind of want to do? It's going to take you about a day and a half, almost 2 days travel.
The first thing is, once we've gotten ourselves in a trajectory. Dev wants to ask, what happened? What was that explosion? What happened?
A massive fuck up is what happened.
What
You gonna
happened?
explain yourself, or should I just eject you from the airlock now?
You see, Janus steps out of his quarters. Oh, right, sorry. I thought I was sort of sequestered to my quarters. I didn't know we were supposed to be having a conference or whatever about whatever went on. Oh, wait, look, it's the imposter me. How are you doing? Let me know when you get a little bit more age and life experience, and probably a bit more weight. Jeez, mate, you need something to eat.
He's probably very trim. Obviously, he's a bit emaciated, but he's clearly leaner than Janus. His prison diet has saw to that, and he's probably spent most of his time working out in a tiny little gel cell, so it is all muscle and no fat. He looks up and down at you, and he simply says, "Life experience doesn't mean anything if you're an asshole."
Right, well, you would know that.
Touche.
What happened?
There was an explosion.
Right, but how did that happen? Was there
Yes.
some kind of error? Was there? I mean, did something go wrong?
I mean, it's quite possible, yes.
I wanted us to do it the right way this time.
Yeah, well, you know, people seem to be wanting to take things out of my hands.
To be fair, I did make the statement that I was the last one on the ship, to where nobody could see what I was doing.
It's true. No, nobody knows that you set it off, but there definitely was an
Sure.
explosion.
Right, well, I was just, I didn't see anything on the dock when I was the last one boarding. I don't know, maybe something went wrong with the wiring on your heck?
That's bullshit, and you know it.
Do you think those people are? Do you think they're all dead?
Yeah, probably. I rigged it up where it would open up doors one by one so we could take care of the problem ones, the ones that were actually going to murder people, the ones that you didn't want freed. Because, let's face it, we couldn't really take chances in that regard. But the rest was set up pretty flawlessly.
Right, what if that sort of arachnid-looking fella, what if he had gotten, like, into some type of petrol tank or something along those lines and caused an explosion? I mean, he was spraying, what, acid?
Yeah, well, maybe it wouldn't have happened if you had shot your gun.
Hey, I made Trooper a promise. Oh, sorry.
Dev!
But we'll make trooper promises too.
Yeah,
A little blood
I
leaks
made-
out of your nose.
exactly right. I made your brother a promise and told him that I wouldn't kill anyone, then I stuck to it.
Oh, he made you a promise, did he?
Well, he did promise.
See, unlike you, mate, some of us like giving a shit about sticking to things.
It's pretty hard to stick to anything but a 10 by 10 when they got you locked up in a place like that. So I guess I should say thank you. He gives you a glare.
I suppose I failed.
Failed, and you see him reach out and give a very ginger hand to Deb's shoulder.
I just tried so hard to not kill anyone like back in the army. I didn't.
It's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. I don't have any proof Janice did anything wrong, but considering he shot Plume, fucked everything else up,
He
call a spade a spade.
There's like a cough when you hear it say Janice killed Plume. That's news to Chas. His
Oh, yeah.
eyebrows
Oh.
kind of raised. I see you've all been very busy.
You could say that.
It was sort of an accident.
People don't cockpit shot by accident.
No,
I wouldn't say it's an accident. I say it's a bit more of a misinterpretation of intent.
Good thing they don't say what you say. What do you say? And he looks at Hanovi.
Instigating bastard.
I think I'm gonna stay well away from this. I'm like taking off the doctor's clothes and putting on something that looks worth a shit.
Yeah, I forgot you were wearing the covered
He's
in blood. You look
fancy.
like a damn mad scientist.
Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I'm stripping down all the way, like wherever we are. It doesn't matter for Hanovi.
Great.
So he'd be like, I think I'm just gonna. Gore comes out, wipe it off my face. Get out of this.
Dev
Chas
turns red again.
watches Dev, watches Hanovi, looks at Janice, back to Dev, back to Hanovi, whose pants are now probably on, and he says, "So, I'm to understand that the four of you shot some person named Plume to save me."
No. We didn't shoot anybody. He shot Plume.
But he's part of your crew, right?
Yeah, well, I'm working on some things.
And you're the captain?
Yeah.
So...
Who else would be on this shit show of a ride?
And he goes, correct me if I'm wrong, but he kind of looks around, he goes, runs his hand down the side of it, he goes, military issued vehicle, and you're the captain.
What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say that this is your crew, and his mistake is your mistake.
Yeah, well, I didn't think about that.
It was a complicated situation. Mr. Deadeye didn't. He thought we were all going to be murdered.
Mr. Deadeye. He looks again at Janice and then back at Dev. Mister? He, mouths to you.
I'm kind of like furthest away from everybody.
Yeah.
So I'll lock eyes with Slip and just kind of twist the towel in my hands. Like, am I gonna have to kill this dude in a second? And I just unwrap the towel, and then I'm just gonna peace out. I'm gonna go take a shower or something. And
Dev, do you usually leave Teddy in the cockpit?
Yes. Teddy's usually, not too far. He's usually hanging out in the cockpit, making sure, because especially while we're talking, he's he's like our autopilot, in those moments to make sure everything is fine.
Sure.
In case, I don't know, pirates show up, he'll be like, hold on, pirates.
He goes over, Chas does, and starts searching through cabinets looking for anything that might be there to eat. I'm sure he might find something prepackaged or sealed away, airtight. He rips open, begins gnawing on maybe a jerky of some kind. Obviously not having had anything to eat in a while, and he says, so, remind me again, who paid you to come save me?
Oh, Mr. Hyde would know the details. I actually don't know.
He turns as we see Hanovi walking away down the hallway towards the lavatories and showers and such.
You can hit me up on the intercom.
Yeah, he's gonna go have a shower beer. So actually, Hanovi, on the way, the cockpit's at the very, very end. You kind of stare down this narrow hallway into the archway that leads into the cockpit, and you see something going on. Your floating friend seems to be connected to something in the seat, the shotgun seat in the cockpit, and it's like his slug body has slipped out and is attached to something in the seat there up front. It's
like some type of pseudopod that comes out of
it looks like a giant clam that's sucked out, and it's probably if you know that's where Teddy is kept. More than likely, he's attached to Teddy.
Oh, that, Teddy, is this...
You guys can't see it. Hanovi's the only person. It's all the way up in the cockpit. You guys are at the back of the
Okay.
ship.
So I'll kind of walk up and just look at what this thing is doing. Like, see if Teddy's, just kind of chilling out, or like fucking sparks flying.
Yeah, no.
Like,
So Teddy sits there limp, completely limp.
Mm-hmm.
The entire head of Teddy, neck up, has been consumed by this kind of pseudopod type thing, and it's like,
Gotcha.
it's pulsating. It doesn't look like it's eating Teddy, at least in regards to, like, it's not going any farther, but it does, like, almost suck or undulate on Teddy's head.
Not good.
So I'll say in a nice, even, cold tone, let the bear go. And, like, I'll loom a bit, or I swear to God, I'll crack you open and drown you out.
There's like a moment, this orb's like, and the thing's like, you see it slowly release from Teddy's head as it like dissipates, and the entire like amorphous organic thing sucks back up, and the cap plugs on the bottom of the spherical object, and it lights up as it speaks to you. What was this thing's name again? It was something silly.
Wesley.
That's right here it was Wesley. All I can see is Old Joyce. I wrote that like 10 times.
His name's Old Joyce.
Way more important than he is, clearly. Okay, so yeah, and it speaks to you, and it simply says, I was not harming your AI unit.
I don't give a shit. I snatch Teddy and like hold it in my arm, and I say, you ask permission.
He goes, I was simply going through his video files to understand what it is you have gone through to bring me to this place, for it may be your death.
Fun story. And
I love
turn and I walk towards Dev. Like, I gotta deliver Teddy now before I take the shower. I've got parts of this Xeno dude in my ear. I'm ready to get it out. I'm getting irritated. Everything's been way more complicated than it should be.
Teddy bearer.
The Wesley
Dev!
Wesley floats behind you all the way down the hallway, keeping a pretty much exact 10-foot distance from you the entire time. If you stop, he stops.
That's wise.
Yeah, Wesley's not a dumb individual or dumb creature. It floats, and once the bear's delivered, its head.
And Dev's like, what?
I just kind of lob Teddy.
And Teddy like gets lobbed, and then like his little jets activate so he doesn't fall.
Teddy's head is slightly damp, like he's been licked by a dog.
What happened?
I simply merged with your AI unit so that I could share and understand where it is you have gone. I've looked through all of your videos, and I have upgraded his internal hard drive.
Oh.
I told him to ask permission. I'm taking my shower now.
Wait, Mr. Hyde?
What?
Sorry, Choss wanted to know who hired us to get him?
Josh is like,
To free him?
like gnawing down on something to eat right now.
Do you know who Shad is? I ask Choss.
The piece
weapons
of
dealer.
jerky, the vegetable jerky that hangs out of his mouth, he pulls free without actually taking a bite. His eyes are big. He says, I do? That's not who you made the deal with, was it?
Yeah.
Is that a good thing? Is that your friend?
Sure.
This is gonna be okay, right?
Of course it is, old Debbie. And he kind of like pats you on the shoulder very tenderly. Runs
I
his
kinda
hand down your neck.
I throw back over my shoulder as I'm walking away. Like, nothing's been okay since I met you people. I'm just not having it.
Such a grump. All you want is a warm shower.
All I want is to inject some
I just look
illicit
pissed off in the
substances into
background.
my eyeball and take a shower.
Is that so
I
much
just
to
looked
ask?
at hell. Nobody calls Debbie except for me.
Well,
It's my little brother.
Why do I picture Slip as the chibi version right there? Nobody calls that Debbie but me.
so, the Wesley, now kind of makes space as Hanover passes by, and then like floats into the main area where everybody's at. And it says, "I don't understand. What did I do wrong?"
Teddy's really important to me, and we just didn't know what you were doing. You could have been hurting him or erasing him.
You come all the way across the galaxy to break me out of prison, and you don't trust me enough to be around your AI unit?
That's true, but Teddy's special. Teddy's special.
Why? Why is it different than other machinery?
Well, I made it. Do you know what birthdays are?
Of course I know what birthdays are. They
Okay,
were
well, you
invented
never know.
on my planet.
Were they really?
Okay. Well, I made it for my brother's birthday. It's a present. So it's special. Okay, it's a long story. But what were you doing? Sucking my brother's teddy bear's head?
Well, I am organic matter. Teddy is not. I have the ability to merge my organic matter with technology in a way that allows me to, for lack of a better term, osmosisly merge with them. Take and trade information, and if you'll check, Teddy is in better shape now than he was before.
Teddy, are you okay?
I'll run over and plug my little
Yeah.
machine and just run some quick diagnostics.
Yeah, you run some quick diagnostics. Somebody has gone through all of Teddy's video files. They've watched through what is easily days, weeks worth of video footage in minutes.
Wow.
Just like as fast as they could go.
And all the Earth stuff too, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that was on Teddy's hard drive. Wesley has now watched or consumed. But he's actually right. Teddy now has more space, I guess you could say, like more hard drives, actual hard drive space. He's been upgraded, and it has kind of freed up, I guess you could say, opportunity for Teddy to be like bigger, better, those kind of things. Clearly he went physically, and here's the thing, Midge, he went physically inside the head, the mouth, everything, and tinkered with the mechanics of Teddy's face.
Can you teach me how to do that?
No, you're not like me.
Well, I read something on the internet about some kind of like, medicine that would kind of make you into a flash drive thing.
The blue lights that surge around the small circuit boards creating the exterior of his hull turn red. Wesley says, "I know of the drugs that you speak, considering the fact they held me hostage so that they could harvest them from me."
That's terrible. Are you okay?
No.
What can we do to help?
Nothing. You already have.
That's not a good thing to do.
No, it is not. But those who harvested it clearly have made a lot of money. And it kind of turns, you see it just like, and looks right at Midge, and clearly a name for itself.
Yeah, I mean, I had never heard of it before now, but I mean, I'm not gonna take it from you. I was just curious. It's pretty cool.
Where I come from, they have a saying: curiosity kills the cat. But I know that you don't know what a cat is, so.
I know what a cat is.
It's a mythological creature, and they're really tall, and they like have eyes that glow in the dark, and they're also completely silent, and they're hunters, and sometimes they sit on your face and take your soul.
No, that's octopus.
Oh, really?
Again, all of this you've learned. These are not creatures that are native
These are just
to this
storybooks?
place. These are storybooks and things that you might have heard. Things run together. I love that idea that cats can sit on your face and smother you. That tickles me. Because that's what they do.
That's what they do.
Wesley kind of like takes all this in and he says, "You are almost correct. It amazes me how you walk that line."
We did. I don't. We had a reason. We wanted to ask you a question.
Well, I am not going anywhere.
Well,
And Dev just looks at
obviously.
his sister.
I mean, we kind of talked about it on the prison asteroid ruin now. I read your dissertation, your manifesto.
Yes, I was a young rebel then.
We have a hard drive.
How long ago was that? Because it seemed pretty recent.
Oh, let's see. I'm about 1,056 years old. I wrote that about 200 years ago.
Yeah, super recent. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Do you know anything about what's going on in the world?
Of course I do.
I mean, well,
why do you think
you
they
were in a
kept me locked
tube?
up?
Well, yeah, but I mean, like recently, like
How much can
have you
change
caught the
in
news
a
bids?
He says, how much can change in a century?
Well, we have proof that the president's not the president, and it's
Of course you do. There's proof everywhere that the president is not the president. It's not proof that we need. I had proof. She's my sister.
Who's your sister?
Wait, hold up. No, hold up.
Wait,
What?
do you mean the woman we found is your sister? But that doesn't make sense because the woman we found is a human. But do you know Lucy?
I know not of a Lucy, but of the AI we call the president.
Wait, what?
The president.
No. Oh, that's right. You said that. Wait, how can an AI be your sister? But you're not an AI.
Are you an AI?
No, I am completely organic.
But she's an AI.
Correct.
But she's your sister.
Correct. Sister is a term. You see it as a biological connection. I see it as something very similar.
Well, okay, that's. I look over at Dev. That's kind of fair.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. And Dev scrambles off and he picks up this hard drive that's got, and it's a little bit heavy to pick up, so he like kind of heaves it. It's this little hard drive with all this concrete like attached to it because it had these like little spikes that came out and it clearly attached to things and has been violently ripped out. And he says, "This is dangerous, but this is what happened. We were just a crew doing a mission, nothing really big, just picking up a thing. And then we were attacked by pirates, and we stopped the pirates, but it destroyed the ship. So we got on the pirate ship. And when we got on the pirate ship, it turns out, I know we're not supposed to tell you this, but I feel like we can tell you this. We're part of a thing called the Purloin Guild. You probably heard about it. And so we went onto this pirate ship, and it turned out the pirates were also members of the Purloin Guild. At least that's what it seemed like. But then they were actually really members of this like Assassin's Guild. So we went back to the Purloin Guild with this hard drive that they had that had all their information on it. We looked at the hard drive, we checked it out, and it had all the evidence of them being like assassins but pretending to be the Purloin Guild. And we gave it to our boss because we figured there must have been, but they had contracts out to murder us with our names on it, which meant they must have been somebody who knew things, like insiders, right? So we talked to Plume, who was our contact, and we said, hey, we think that somehow there might be a mole inside the Purloin Guild organization. And he puts the hard drive in the machine. And then what happens is that it turns out that there was a virus in the machine that we didn't see that was clearly just waiting until it got into the main machine, the main military machine. And then it hooked itself on so it couldn't be released. And it put a virus everywhere. And then Plume got shot. And
about this time, Choss walks
I put
over
a
and
hand on Dev's shoulder at that point.
one hand of Midge's, one head of
I'm
Choss's.
beaming. I'm very proud. But then I put a hand on his shoulder.
And it immediately stops Dev, and Wesley kind of floats over a little closer and says, that is a lot of information, many of which is blocking your mind from the truth that you already know. May I merge? He says, may I merge with the hard drive?
oh, yes.
Yeah. Please.
You must set it. He has no way to gesture to you. This floating ball. She's like, will you set it down?
Oh, and he puts it down, and he just like puts his hand on Choss's hand on his shoulder, just and like touches it lightly, and like sort of sits back a bit.
Chas squeezes. He goes, I'm gonna guess that you didn't actually come for me, but for them.
But I didn't know you were there, but once I did, I knew we had to get you out.
He kind of pats you on the shoulder and goes back to gnawing on his vegetable jerky. The creature, you see the hatch slide to the side. This sluggy substance, this tendril like plucks out. It's like, yeah, reminds me of like Gak. Remember Gak and how it would come out of the tube?
Oh my god, yes.
Kind of like Gak. And it like down, still maintaining connection to the physical like floating shell, as it literally just like covers like the thickest layer of icing over top of the entire hard drive, and you watch as it begins to pulsate.
Be careful, there's a virus.
And it kind of takes a moment. You watch as it literally super duper merges with this, and it takes about 10 minutes before it finally releases. Once it comes off and it sucks it back up like a giant pink tongue, and the ball closes shut, the sphere, Wesley says, well, that was enlightening. And you watch as the mechanism that was clamped around the hard drive that's still attached to the wall, like, and it, like, lets loose, and the concrete falls to the side, leaving the hard drive free. It's mostly damaged at this point, between all of the above, but the hard drive is free of the concrete now. And Wesley says, this was, in fact, bugged to not be able to be removed. And yes, you are correct. To also put a virus in the mainframe of what you say is the military's computer.
Who did it? Who framed us?
Well, the High Mafia, of course. Their single goal is to bring down the military and the president.
Oh, I was right.
I thought they sold drugs.
They do. But as most creatures in this universe, or most creatures in this system, they do what they have to survive. The High Mafia is a collection of people of very high power, with lots of credits and lots of connections. Most of whom voted against the president 300 years ago. When the rest of them, meaning what is now considered probably the aristocracy of the system, when they voted the president in, the High Mafia made it its duty to bring it down. Afraid that it would be what it actually is, which is a lie. A way to control the people of this solar system. Now, whether or not you agree with what has been done, the truth is there.
Why did they target us? Just because we were here?
I don't assume that they targeted just you. The four of you just happened to be stupid enough to take it back. There's a very high probability that the High Mafia has multiple hard drives just like this one, floating about, having been placed in a trap for, say, 4 unsuspecting Purloin Code members to come across. You seem surprised by this, Dev.
Well, I don't know what we're supposed to do.
Do? I am the most intelligent life form in this galaxy. And not even I can do anything, Dev.
Well, we have to do the right thing, but I don't know what that is.
Then how do you know what is right?
Well,
if it is
like,
right.
But I don't know what the right thing is right now, so what are we supposed to do?
I cannot answer this question for you. I'm not
You don't
even
have
sure
to
what
know
I'm
what the right
supposed
thing
to
is.
do. I suspect I need to leave this galaxy. It's time for me to move on to somewhere else.
Wait. I have a question.
I am still here.
Where are you from?
Earth.
No. I don't think you understood my question.
Ask it again.
What planet are you from?
I'm from planet Earth. Part of the
I
Milky
haven't
Way
seen
galaxy
anything like
system.
you in any VODs.
That's because I did not look like this when I left planet Earth.
Are you human?
Yes. The purest form, in fact. Test my DNA. I dare you.
I don't know if I want to.
Yeah, there's that moment of like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't. I don't know what I'll find out. Oh, thanks. It says Terminator. Wesley, we are here to something. Hang on.
To protect you?
Yeah,
Or assault you?
Assault you, you giant slug.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go a little deeper than that. What?
Well, how about this? Why don't you tell me what it is you know about the humans, and I'll fill in the blank spots.
They were very tall, and
That's
they
actually
were...
not true.
Oh.
It's called a complex. Many humans had it.
Oh. They were this flowering of civilization. They had all of these amazing arts and books and stories, and then they flew across space in many great ships and arcs, but then they crash landed, and then
Took over the galaxy like they usually do.
that's not the way the story was told to me as a kid.
Well, that's how we ended up where we ended up, Dev.
Well, anyway, there was a mural about a goddess. There's a symbol. It looks like a circle with a little T underneath it.
Wesley says yes. The sign for her. The mother. It is true. Humans crash-landed here in this system 1,000 years ago. But for about 200 before that, they traveled aimlessly looking for a new home. Our species evolved. Generations passed, and new generations that didn't even know old Earth were charged with taking care of something that their ancestors had packed onto giant ships and cast out.
So
We were separated. The human fleet.
were you on the one that came with us? Or...
Correct. I was part of an archival process, a scientific experiment to make our species more adapt to space travel so that we could survive longer. We were dying off, of course, and had been for 200 years. The best scientists that humans had to offer began experimenting on me, my human form, alongside that of an AI unit, one that was supposed to potentially merge, creating the perfectly balanced cyborg. Instead, the AI rejected my body, causing me to begin to shift and change into this, a more advanced life form. When we finally landed here, with the prison ship and the few archives that made it, the AI was on board.
Wait, did you say prison ship?
Why, yes, of course.
No, it was a ship of animals and like flora and fauna, and
Yes,
then
the two. But
wait,
the third ship. The third ship was prisoners. The unwanted.
I thought there were only 2 ships.
No. In fact, the Astrius terminus that we are currently headed for is built on top of the original Earth ship. The prison ship.
Ah, well, that makes sense.
Right, I knew I liked that place for some reason.
It says, so when we landed here, the people on the archive at that point worshipped her. It. The AI. As a god. And when they found this universe, decided it was their job to make sure that the rest of the solar system also worshipped her as a god. And so humans did exactly as you said. Like a virus, they begin to take over this solar system, corrupting from within every way that they knew how, and took control by taking an AI that protected our people, that evolved our people, and made it the backbone, the new backbone of this place. Is your life not better because of her?
Not really.
Are you sure? Do you know a time without her?
Well, no, but I mean, the entire time's been pretty shit, so.
Has it? It, like, slide opens up and it projects like out, just like R2-D2, it projects out and it's got like a little hologram.
Help
and it
me,
begins
Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
Give me
really
hope.
hope. And it begins to play, like a video. And you see these newsreels that far date when all of you were here and born, pre-presidents. And Wesley kind of narrates over top of a montage of horrific things. He says, I will save you the trouble of sifting through all of the data that Teddy holds in his skull. This galaxy, when the humans arrived, was a war zone. Mass slaughterings, huge genocide, slavery, a free-for-all. The humans believed in something called peace, equality. So they took their old ways and they applied them to the new. They decided the president needed a face, something people could trust, a woman.
They tortured young girls?
They altered them, augmented them to be the same. Was it painful? Yes, I'm assured it was. And then they were manipulated into being exactly the same. They served a purpose, a front.
Yeah, it sounds super peaceful.
But you were going to expose them. So you thought that was the right thing to do?
I still think it's the right thing to do. I believe in the purpose of the president, of the AI. But I believe lying to the people of this galaxy is wrong. They deserve to know the truth, and to have to accept the fact that their lives are made better by a series of algorithms and technology.
I mean, I'm right there with you with the knowledge, but I understand it might have been bad when we got here, but it's still pretty shit now. I mean, we just got off a planet with a heavenly abundance of everything. Meanwhile, Dev and I grew up on a planet with dirt cakes.
I would like to try that.
No, you don't.
Oh.
It was shit.
I did not say it was equitable.
Yeah, well, that's not peace, is it?
He has no face, no emotion, just floats there as you ask a giant pontificated question. And Wesley simply says, I'm sorry.
Well, it's not necessarily your fault. I'm not blaming you.
No.
I'm just saying, it's not...
It is not my fault. But where I come from, there is something known as empathy. As my form changed, I have less and less of it, but I do feel for all of you, having to learn this way.
Could you tell me one thing?
I'm still here.
Was Captain Ahab one of your greatest space captains?
Captain Ahab.
I got a book. I think it's a history book.
Oh, Moby Dick.
Wesley says,
It's an
Captain,
actual book.
it is a physical. He says, you have a physical copy of Moby Dick.
Yes, yes.
That
And
is-
then he gets really awkward for a moment, and he goes, "Mr. Deadeye gave it to me."
You hear an audible non-munching of like that stops in the corner as Chas looks up from whatever he's eating and kind of hears that. Wesley says, that is quite a treasure you have. But you see, where I come from, the original humans, they found more pleasure in fiction than they did in history. Sometimes we learn our greatest lessons in fables and made-up stories, Dev. The
So this
story
wasn't-
of Captain Ahab is not truth, but it is considered one of the greatest stories ever written, which means it still holds a place in history. Does this disappoint you?
Well, were whales real?
Yes. Many species of them, in fact. Killer whale, giant whale, blue whale, humpback whale, whale's whale, Jonah the whale.
What kind of a whale's a Jonah whale?
Another fabled whale.
Oh.
One made up, again, when humans needed a concept of faith in a god.
I wish I could have seen one.
A whale. He kind of, you see, it's almost like a projector slide. It's like the light like off and then opens back up, and when it does, it shows kind of like a hologramic hovering projection of a whale through water. And he says they have a hole in their head. It spits water.
It's like the space worms we saw surrounding that one planet. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
A couple years ago?
Look at that.
They move the same way.
Huh.
They use echolocation to communicate, and he plays like an audio sound that you can hear of whales speaking to one another.
Oh.
Teddy now knows how to speak whale.
Ooh.
Teddy can now like,
How are you?
Yeah, Teddy can now speak through whale echolocation.
What happened to Earth?
We killed the planet, humans.
Why?
I don't know if why is the right question. Because we are selfish and greedy. We overpopulated. The barrier between the wealthy and the poor grew ever wider. Resources became scarce. And human nature began to shift and change. We became smarter, but with that also more volatile. So we used what resources we had left to build a fleet of ships that would take the rest of humanity away from that place. It only held so many, and a lottery was done.
Not everybody got to go?
Correct.
You left people to die?
We left people on Earth.
That's awful.
I would like to think that once the population was 50% less, that it might have a chance to thrive.
Do you think there's still humans out there on Earth?
I believe that now, because of chance of fate, there are humans all over space. On Earth, the rest of the fleet that never made it here is out there somewhere.
Wesley, you know things.
I try.
No one's telling me exactly, but is it? I want to make sure Choss is going to be okay.
The orb like bzzz around to like look at the whale, like cuts off over at Choss. Choss looks healthy to me. His vital signs are considerably good. His brain functionality is at top peak, though he has had ribs broken in the last 6 months.
No, I just meant. I just don't. It's okay. I should do a scan of the ship.
Wesley goes, if that is what you need to do, then please do it. But your vital signs show that you have not slept in quite a while.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true.
And again, it like bzzz around and looks over at Choss, and then it bzzz back and looks at you, Dev, and it says, and I suspect that you have missed your friend. May I spend more time with Teddy?
Teddy, is that okay?
Is it? You power Teddy. I don't power Teddy.
Well, I don't know what the AI would think. I don't even know whether, it's an AI bot.
Yeah, it's true. If it means anything, there's no harm that has been done to Teddy. It does not actually harm Teddy in any way. And it does seem to be like a true just like sharing of information. He's basically just going through Teddy's data files. It might be a little personal, but it's not it's not harming Teddy in any way. And since he's making upgrades as he goes.
Well, okay, but don't hurt him. They always try to make us go and take our AI in for like reformatting, but then that erases that would kill Teddy, and I just want Teddy to stay Teddy.
You cannot kill an AI unit. You can only deactivate it.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, but just don't look at the folder in back called "Do Not Open Hot Tub Blunts." Don't open.
Wait, what?
Nothing.
Wesley does not completely understand that and makes a note of ignoring that folder. As the camera pans away from this moment, down the hallway to a very steamy lavatory where Hanover, you're enjoying a warm shower, like an actual hot, quiet shower. You're going through your routine, and you have good instincts, and you keep getting this feeling. Maybe it's the lack of drugs in your system, or maybe it's that actually somebody is in there with you, but you keep getting this feeling that you're not alone. But there is, like, in this tiny lavatory, there's not anybody here that you can see. And while you're showering, you hear a slight noise that seems to come from inside the wall.
What is adjacent to that wall?
Adjacent to that wall would be probably one of the bedrooms, or maybe actually probably be more like a storage closet, like a basic level storage unit closet, because it would be about the same size.
So I know that there can be like crawl space between the walls, but I don't know. That's not something that I can really do much about. So I'll kind of just get out of the shower, shake a little bit, the hand squeegee as I'm walking out into the bulkhead to go to the storage closet, and just kind of keep an ear. I'll leave the shower going.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, this is fun. You leave the shower going, you kind of get out, and you go around to the storage closet. You
just
put your
creep around.
Yeah, you put your ear to it. Even if you like tap, 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 dum, dum, dum. There's something very solid behind the wall between this storage unit and the bathroom.
Well,
Let's hope it's not the alien creeper with the acid.
I mean, it could be.
This is not an 80s movie. That's a different game. We'll play that maybe one day.
So there's a war. There's a war right now inside of Hanovi. And on the one hand, he's been through some stuff in the not too distant past that would make him want to answer such a query as this with desolation and or destruction. And there's the other that really just wants that attention to be left on Janice for now and not really spark anything in his direction. So he's going to step out of the storage closet into one of the little communicators, like in one of the bedrooms that's nearby or something, buzz it, and just kind of say pretty quietly, I think we have a stowaway. And then I'll describe the wall and be like, you may want to scan, like to the cockpit where these guys are, wherever they are.
It's
And then
probably
I'll
just
stand
Tank.
between like the doors, and do that weird, like, I'm waiting for something to happen. Here.
You kind of go back and forth. I imagine,
Yeah.
Hanover, you've not even had time to put all your clothes back on. You may just be
I
like
still got
towel
soap on
pants.
me,
Yeah, you're still like dripping.
No, there's no towel.
There's no towel,
There's
just
no towel.
standing there.
Perfectly concealed soap.
And
There's like the drift of steam that covers the parts that needs to be covered. for television.
Exactly. And Hanover, as you stand there going between the two and you say this, first off, immediately as this comes over the comm, Sis goes, vessel scan activated. And you watch as one of the screens for Sis is like, and it's going room by room by room. It's lighting up red room by room by room.
It's just Tank. He's running wires. What's the big deal?
Hanover, as soon as you hear Sis say this, whatever's in the wall begins to move. You can hear it. It begins to kind of scutter away and begin to kind of move about.
So I'll buzz the intercom whole ship thing, because if the scan started, they heard it and moved. There's some kind of sentience there, right?
Correct, yes.
So I'll buzz over the intercom and be like, we've got something moving between the walls. It's trying to avoid the scan. You want me to kill it?
Sis finally responds.
No!
It seems there is some kind of living organism, roughly the size of a human, that is currently between the walls.
Do you think it was from the asteroid?
104.
I'm unsure. It seems to be moving. And a blip comes on, and it's like, bloop, bloop, bloop.
Dev looks to Midge.
I'm
And it's
gonna
moving
slip. Yeah,
on the
I'm gonna
ground?
slip into the floorboards in my slip space and get up into the walls.
Okay.
Because I know how to do that.
So
You do.
while this is
You can't
happening,
hide
like,
from
is it
me.
moving as though its feet is still on the deck in the artificial gravity or whatever, or is it scuttering up like into crawl
It
space?
seems like it's trying to go up. Because then basically what happens is it looks like it's trying to get into air duct system or something above your head. It was on the ground. It was probably literally whatever it was squeezed between the walls and was just sitting there. And then when you started talking, it's now trying to climb and get back up into like movable area. Midge, you drop down.
Keep me posted on where she is. I'm gonna scurry around.
Yeah. And
Why she? What do you know, Midge?
that's right. What do you know?
Oh, sorry. Keep me posted on where it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Sis
Trying
says,
to investigate.
well,
Sorry.
did Sis tell you it was female? Sis didn't tell you it was female, did she?
No.
Okay.
The blue-
I don't think so. No, no.
Just said it was a
So
blue.
Yeah.
to
Just cut
keep track of where it is, I have like a communicator somewhere.
Yeah.
But I'm not worried about it. Like the ship's not super big.
No, it's not.
I'm gonna-
And they're not
I'm
going
gonna keep
anywhere.
an
So
ear. I'm gonna keep an ear of where it's going and give the loud fucking boom every time I can, so that Slip
Oh
can
my
follow.
god.
Slip, you hear it that
Well,
as you get closer and closer. Hanover keeps studying. Hanover, you track it from the out of the storage closet, farther down the hallway. It goes up and over Dev's room, and then Midge's room, and stops over Janice's room. Janice, are you in the room, or are you still in the? Are you still in the main area?
Still in the main area.
That's what I thought.
Wherever the fuck Choss is.
Choss is like, still eating, eyes on you. This is going on, and you can look down the hallway. Hanabi has stopped in your doorway as it tracks it. Midge. You kind of drop down, and you scutter what is basically the belly of the ship, which has no walls. This is where we see all the structure and bolts that hold walls and things in place. This is just an empty area. You scutter across all the way down towards the bedrooms, and you can hear it, that scratching noise of like boots and nails and things, as you catch the bottom of somebody's boot go up through the wall system and over.
Can I try and grab it?
Sure. Why don't you make a roll? How would you like to do that?
I can do a scramble.
Yeah, scramble works.
Scramble?
Scrap, we're not in a full-on scrap. I would say scramble works probably best for this.
Yeah, I'm just trying to grab onto it.
Yeah.
Pull it back down.
First roll of the day.
Risky, control, desperate.
This is gonna be desperate because it's going away. Like if you don't grab it, it's a desperate move to just like quick grab this thing. So desperate. The outcome will be pretty standard. You'll catch the thing you want.
You got it. A 6.
Ooh.
But yeah, you see it and you grab this boot tight, and you hear somebody go as you kind of tug at it. There is a person attached to the other end of it. Hanabi, the noise on the back side of Janice's like bedroom wall gets ever louder. Thank you guys out there for that support. Yeah, give it a tug. This is a scrap.
Okay. I can do that. I am not very good at that, but we're gonna try.
You get +1 action rating to that because we're deadly.
It's true.
Yeah.
We're a deadly crew.
Ooh, okay. Risky, desperate?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay.
Thank you all the raiders that just came in. Thank you guys for joining us for a little Scum and Villainy.
Standard.
We're naked and chasing people through walls.
Yes.
Naked chasing people through walls.
Standard would be well, what are you trying to do? Are you just wanting to pull them down?
I'm just gonna pull it down, and if it falls down, I'm gonna grab my wrench out of my pocket and kind of sling it around their neck, like in a chokehold kind of thing.
Okay. All right, let's, I would say then the outcome could be great, because there's a lot of moves to that, so you could have a greater outcome if this goes well. Let's see how it goes. 2 to 4. All right.
Lowest roll, so 3. Okay.
A 3.
Mm-hmm.
A 3. You grab
It's not the worst.
the foot, and you give a good tug. This person definitely fights you. It seems that their body is now, like, almost fully, like they're grabbing the top of Janice's bedroom ceiling, and you're pulling down on them. And you can hear it is definitely a woman as you get that, like, and you don't get them necessarily off. I'm actually going to roll now against you. Give me just a second here. Because they may let loose and drop down on you, which could be a whole separate thing.
Fun.
Yep. Okay. This is gonna be risky. This is gonna be standard.
Oh no, there's a fight.
Yeah, I'm fist fighting.
Oh no.
It's been a while, baby. It's been a while.
You forgot the other boot. As it comes back and it smashes you in the face as this person drops down from the ceiling. That's gonna be a little bit of damage there, I would think. What is your... Hang on, I'm on ship mode again. How did that happen? What is your prowess?
I've got 1 in scramble. That's it.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, so you don't have any of the bars at the top that say like insight, prowess, resolve. You don't have any in those.
It would be.
I've got
I
2
think
in there.
1.
I've got 2 in there actually.
Okay.
In prowess.
Okay.
So I think you just click the prowess to resist.
Click it to resist. We'll see. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So click and roll your prowess because you may resist it all. Okay. So 4. This is interesting. Suffer 6 stress minus the highest die result. So 4 stress is what you take as this boot smashes you in the face. The person does drop down, and you see that it is, you immediately recognize it. It is Lucy. She seems to be wearing a soldier uniform, boots that are far too large for her, and she is very greasy and dirty. She's been hiding out on your ship now for, like, possibly a week and a half. Like, you don't know how long she's been hiding out in the bowels of the ship and the walls. She's clearly here. She does still have comms. She's been listening to you guys this whole time.
What the hell are you doing?
She's like, I'm sorry. I just had to get off that planet, and I knew if
You
I
can
told
talk?
you that... Oh, that's right. She can't talk. She's like, I'm sorry. She's mouthing. She's freaking out. She's afraid that you're gonna toss her off the ship. She almost got to the space station without you guys finding her.
We looked for you everywhere.
And she, you can tell she's signing. And you don't read any kind of sign language, especially not future sign language. But she keeps trying to tell you that she's sorry, and you can't, she makes no words because she has no tongue, but she does mouth and word it, that, like, open kind of, just vowel sounds, and she's, no, I'm sorry, you know, she keeps trying to, like,
fucking mouth.
And she kind of, like, points like, you grabbed my boot.
You're on my ship.
And she kind of, like, she pulls her stuff around closer.
I shout through the wall, "Who are you talking to?"
And she puts her hands to the wall in
Take
her
a
ear
wild
because
guess.
it's Hanovi.
I'm gonna bang on the. I'm gonna hold on to her with one hand, but kind of slip around where there's less pipes and it's just the panel. I'm gonna bang on that panel for them to get it to open up.
Here's the thing, Midge. You bang. It's the wall of Janice's room. It's not as secure as you thought it was. She's clearly been unscrewing panels and moving about, and one of them is in Janice's room. And as you bang on it, it falls solidly into Janice's room, revealing you and her and Hanovi standing in the doorway.
Well, found her little rat. Bleeding from one lip.
Like Captain Kirk, just that little blood from the corner of the
She
mouth.
looks
Little blood.
super guilty.
Yeah, well, you'll make it up to me later. Get out! I'll drag her behind me.
Yeah, she kind of, like, she combs her head, she's very kind of shy, and her hair and her, you know, her head and her tail are kind of tucked.
So, nothing to say for yourself, huh? Huh? That's right.
That's insensitive.
Well, I mean, I guess we're glad you're alive. Maybe.
I kind of.
You could have just told us.
I, like, point at her and then do, like, the okay symbol and then shrug, like, "Are you okay?"
She's when she sees Hanovi, she smiles. And she kind of gets bright-eyed and she nods like, yes, I'm okay. She looks, other than being very dirty, she actually looks great. Like, maybe she's even slept some. You know, like, she's not on that planet anymore, and she doesn't have to worry about the implant in her shoulder because that's gone.
Ripped off.
What a novel sensation, sleep.
Right?
So, again, I'm still, like, naked and wet and covered in soap. So I'll just kind of trudge while Slip's, like, putting the panel back on the wall.
Yeah.
Talking to Lucy. I'll go back to the bathroom and grab a towel and just, like, in the shower for a second, dangle it underneath the water and, like, smear soap on it and bring it back. If she's covered in grease and gross,
She
kind of
is.
toss it to her.
She kind of takes it and begins to, like, wipe her face off a little bit. She doesn't lose eye contact with you.
I'm like, we need better security.
Yeah, you're telling me. Jesus. Did anybody see you?
We didn't even see her.
Right, but I just want to make sure, you know, and get... welcome aboard.
She kind of smiles like, I'm not in trouble? Like that moment of like, wait, I get to stay?
I'll be like, we looked for you for days
Everywhere.
before we left.
They
You
were
could have been
freaking
sleeping
out.
in a cot this whole time.
She doesn't do the thing. She doesn't do the thing. She's not gonna kiss Hanover standing in front of everybody naked as a
She wants to, though.
Well, we don't always get what we want, Trooper. And so she kind of nods, like, yeah, you're probably right. She signs, I wanted to be safe. I wanted to keep you all safe. And it's actually none of you that can understand that. As you hear the Wesley floats down the hallway and rounds the corner, staring into Janice's room to see her there. The blue lights go red. And he goes, why do you have one of the clones?
Yeah.
We
Not my
rescued
call.
her.
This is dangerous. We must get rid of it.
No.
No. She doesn't have the tracker anymore. I'm going to spin her around where the tracker was on her shoulder, pull her hair back.
It could use some medical attention. She did it herself, and there were never any stitches.
I have some doctor, so if I see that it looks kind of gross and needs tending to, I'll kind of get ready to start doing that after I get the soap and shit off of me.
Yeah,
so I'll be like, I'll be right back to slip, you know.
She actually kind of backs up on Janice's bed, like kind of towards the back wall panel that you finally put back in, very unsure of this creature that called her a clone. And
Oh, don't worry. He's human.
her brow kind of furrows as like, yeah, right. Yeah, right. And it's actually Wesley that interprets what she signs. And Wesley says, it seems that she wanted to keep you all safe.
Well, it's nice. Could let us know, but we're more capable than we look. Some of us.
The girl says it's true. She signs, it's true. Hanover, you come back and begin kind of tending to her shoulder. Janice, where are you at in all of this?
Killing Chas.
Pouting.
Well, he's sort of like quietly internalizing the whole situation, saying, yep, I knew she was a fucking clone. Called it. And then the rest of the time, it's making sure that he's as casually as possible, insisting to make sure that his body's in between the eyesight of Chas and Dem.
You are the Great Wall.
It's just all awkward all the time. It's great.
I imagine that Chas is constantly trying to do that, like, step in front of you. And you guys are, like, doing that thing, and a lot of the hallways are kind of narrow, so it really literally can only be one at a time. You guys do that thing with shoulders through doorways and stuff, as you kind of push and shove. But before, as all this is going on, Chas actually would like to question Janice. And as you probably stand there, he gnaws on some kind of vegetable jerky, probably eating through very quickly the stash that's on the ship. As he's probably not had real food in a long time, and he says, so, you and Dev, you've been traveling a while together?
Right, yeah, we've been a crew for a while, yeah.
How'd you meet?
Yeah, well, you know, things happen. Crews get put together by certain organizations. And I was brought aboard, along with Hanover, and here we are.
Right.
But, you know, it's a funny story that you bring it up. So, you know what I found is interesting is the fact that Dev never really talked about you that much.
Well, you know, we had a...
Maybe he's a bit distracted, it's okay.
he like seethes a little bit as he makes some kind of hot drink off to the side. He splashes it as he slams the cup down a little bit. Well, Dev and I don't really see each other much anymore. Our paths went different ways. I had a real career to contend with.
Right, so what you're saying is you didn't give a shit about what Dev did with his life. So it's good for him then, because that means, he had his great sister to take care of him when you fucked right on off. And then I came into his life. So I think he's quite content where he's at. So we'll just be dropping you off to your boy Shab Knob, whatever the fuck his name is, and you can piss right on off.
Janice, I'm gonna have you roll a prowess roll.
Ooh, what's that?
Okay.
Kenobi's indulging in the finer things, lighting some candles in his room. The ambiance.
All right.
It's so Kenobi.
He rolled a 5. On your character sheet, you'll see it says Insight, Prowess, and Resolve. Roll your prowess.
Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna need to reload.
Okay, that's fine. Take your time. As he turns around and chunks this cup of hot liquid right at your face.
Oh.
And then he has potentially something to say depending on how this plays out.
Okay. Sorry, it's going to take a moment. If you need a cut scene someplace
Oh,
else.
okay,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
yeah. The cup goes flying through the air. It slow-mos as the camera cuts into the bedroom where Hanovi is gingerly tending to the girl's wounds. She basically scalped the top of the muscle on her shoulder to get rid of this. It cut pretty deep into the meat, and it's definitely infected.
Gross.
She couldn't tend to it herself.
I say that in character too. Gross.
She looks at you over her shoulder as you tend to it. She winces every once in a while. Again, Wesley's always like, she says she's sorry. He's like interpreting for her. All right, let's get that prowess roll. So on your sheet, Insight, Prowess, Resolve, click Prowess.
Okay.
That's basically the roll against my scrap to see how much damage you take when this cup is thrown, if any at all.
All right. So I'm going to burn a gambit.
Okay.
And do I want to stress myself for this? No, you know what? He's not really worth the stress.
He's not shooting a gun or anything. He's just throwing a cup of hot
For the
liquid.
record, I literally just trashed him in meta. So
You did. You very much did.
So mean. Love it.
Okay.
Eat it.
He tosses
Eat it,
this.
choke on it.
Yeah, he does. He tosses this cup. So for 6 stress minus the highest die result. Okay, so you don't get any stress. This cup smashes into you. I imagine you bat it away. I don't know how Janice blocks this incoming porcelain.
You can clear
cup.
stress. You can clear stress.
Oh yeah, and you can clear stress because you got a critical on it.
Ooh,
So
sweet.
it actually makes you feel good to bat his incoming coffee cup, a literal metaphor for his sass. As you swat it to the ground, it shatters everywhere. I wouldn't say that he runs at you, but he definitely puts, there's some weight behind his walk as he walks up to you, and he doesn't touch you, but he gets right in your face, and he says, Dev chose to throw that race, and I chose to let him go to keep him safe. You know nothing of what you talk about.
First of all, he wouldn't get to my face because my pistol would be out.
That's fine. That's fine. I would say that he's about a foot from you if you'll allow him. If not, you can pull the pistol. It's fine.
Yeah, the pistol comes out. Right, mate. If that's the best you got, no wonder he's forgotten about you.
He says, I don't need a gun to assert myself in a position, Janice.
Well, it's just a long series of stupid choices for you then, right?
I guess so. But you wouldn't want to hurt me, would you? Because then, who do you have to trade when you make it to the terminus? All I'm saying is you have no place to talk about Dev or me. You have no idea.
So, mate, they said they just wanted you alive. There's a lot of difference between alive and, I don't know, walking.
He kind of smiles as if he knows something that you don't. And he says, go ahead. Torture me. return me with my fingers broken. I'm quality merchandise, asshole. And if you break this, there'll be hell to pay.
You break it, you bought it.
And he shoulder bumps you as he walks past, headed down the hallway to see what's up.
All right, toodaloo, princess.
There's now a broken coffee cup on the floor. A hot liquid that's kind of like dark tar. It's not really coffee. Lies about. Yeah, you guys hear Choss as he he storms by. I imagine that there's no spare room, but more like spare cots or spare hammocks that probably hang in a corner somewhere. He quickly goes over and throws himself up and turns away at the corner, not caring at all about the stowaway or anything that's going on. Sis comes over the intercom, and Sis says, Captain, if we are to make it in time, we must hit hyperdrive in approximately 20 minutes.
Well, all right. I know, but you finished with her yet?
It's like, I've got it on the hyperdrive.
She's all googly eyes.
I'm taking the vibro knife because I'm more comfortable with it than a scalpel.
Yep.
I'm just gingerly, gently slicing off that layer of decaying flesh. And I would have sprayed all the foam, nerve killing antiseptic foam and all that good shit.
I love it. It's almost like I imagine it's all foamy and you just I don't know, shave it off. Yeah. And as you do it takes the
pretty
layer.
much.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining it that it's yay big, right?
Uh-huh. That's about right.
And I'm flattening the flesh out and that foam is on top. And I'm just slicing it with the curve of her back, almost all that decaying flesh, scar tissue.
She kind of keeps trying to look back. I'm sure you keep turning your head stop looking, stop looking, stop looking. Until you kind of get it done. And of course, a piece of fake flesh is laid upon it. Once it touches, it melds with it and heals it all back up. She turns and she signs thank you. You hear Wesley says, she says thank you. And then she leans in for a giant kiss. You guys watch as she goes mouth to mouth with Hanovi. Wesley goes, oh, I've been waiting for this moment.
I've got stuff in my hands. I'm holding my hands out.
You've got a tool and a knife, and she is mouth to mouth with you. And the same thing happens that did last time. You begin kind of sharing in images and visuals. And she communicates with you. And basically what she says is that she wants to know where we're going. And she wants to know because she's going to need to depart from everyone. She is seeking a new future. She cannot stay here.
So when the kiss breaks, obviously, I'm kind of taken aback. I put the stuff back in the box and close it, put the knife back in my pants that I'm still naked from the waist up because I haven't had a lot of time, no shoes, but the pants are on.
Is that a vibro knife in your pants? You just happen to see me.
I'll say it's a knife.
She doesn't understand. Her brow kind of furrows as she looks over at Midge.
Yeah. And I'll say, we're going to Astrea's terminal. We have to meet up with people there. And reading her expression, I'll be like, you're safe-ish here.
Her visions told you, the shared vision told you that she is seeking a way out of this solar system.
Yeah.
That she's looking for a ride to what they call the Great Belt. Which is basically a wormhole that shoots people out of this galaxy into other places. And you know that she can find that on the Asterisk Terminus.
I kind of reach over and tunk prung on Wesley because he won't leave us the hell alone. And I'll say, this one's leaving too.
Wesley goes, I am. Does she
and
seek
if you can get
refuge?
over whatever clone prejudice it is, I say, to this
God.
floating orb of gelatinous human.
God bless.
Maybe you can have a pair of hands to help you in your travel.
Wesley looks to her. She signs. Wesley clearly beep boop takes it all in, and says, "This is serendipitous. She and I will be leaving together."
I nod, and then, so, would I have the impression that there would be a place on Estrella's terminal in which she could get her tongue repaired and ability to speak returned?
Yes.
Because I've got, I believe, 2 cred.
Yes. So there's many things there that can be
Yeah,
done,
I've got
from
2 cred.
biological augmentation to the regrowing of organs, fake organs, of various kinds. She could have a brand new. You don't actually know. Nobody's done like a medical exam to see what's actually wrong with her. You know for a fact, just based on sight perception, that her tongue is missing. But there's also the vibe that you get that she may have had her voice removed as well, that her vocal cords were cut. So all those things could be replaced. She could have computer chips put in to do that. She could have, you've seen people have complete speaker systems put in, fake voice boxes, or have the organic stuff regrown. But it is pricey.
So what I think I'm going to do with a little bit of downtime between here and the terminal is try to set up through my contacts and all that good stuff a fake identity for her, and I'll put my 2 creds in it. And then that'll be their travel fund.
Okay.
So if there's enough to get her fixed up and then they leave, that's great. If there's not, then they can just leave on it.
Okay.
So leave it up to her.
I would say that, and I mean, Wesley's one of the oldest people in this galaxy.
He's also like this incredible hacker. He can get the rest that they need.
It's true. And he says, "Thank you. This is a wonderful start and is enough for me to launder in and out of the black market until we have more money."
Yeah.
Is there some way for us to be able to contact you in the future?
Probably not, unless you'd like to come with us.
I feel
Do you really think if we told everybody about this AI president that things would get better?
Better is subjective.
They always get worse before they get better.
I know he speaks truths. It may not get better, but it will be the truth. The difference between myself and the AI unit. Sister. For the first time you realize that Wesley calls her sister. Not just as a title, but as the actual physical name. And he says, "Sister runs everything off an algorithm. Things in order, in place, rows and columns, numbers, explain all. But organic life does not function that way. We are an antithesis, a foil of one another. I believe that she is helping as much as she can. But knowing what we know now, and then allowing people the freedom to make a choice, is way more powerful than being controlled by one."
Anyway, we gotta jump
Think
into
about it.
hyperspace.
And Dev says, Choss, would you be in the co-pilot seat?
There's
My
like a
seat.
there's a sigh from Choss in his cot or hammock off to the side, where he's
Did
got.
you just sigh?
Well, if
Nothing
he-
but that fucking bear has been in that seat
Right,
since I got
if he doesn't want to, Dev,
No,
I'll
no, no, no!
happily
I'll
join
do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. Do it. He like puts his feet on the ground and bustles towards the cockpit. He takes a seat. And he says, "And the bear can come too."
I asked Choss, "Are you a clone?"
What? No, I'm not a clone.
I point between the two of them now that I've had some time.
He goes, "What? We don't look anything alike."
You're a fucking liar.
Whatever. We're totally different. I mean, look, I have an actual jawline. He's missing an eye.
Right? If
Yeah.
like he's a clone and he's like a clone of a clone, so he's a really shitty version.
I mean, I brandish the vibro knife. Do you want the eyes to match, or?
I mean,
He
if
goes,
anything,
"Hey."
he's a shit version of shit. So
He goes, Dev, you know, you're really flying with some lowlives here, man. I threatening to take my eye, comparing me to this. My 5 o'clock shadow is all natural.
Mine comes in at 3 p.m.
strap yourselves in already.
And you do hear Sis say,
Hold on to your butts.
yeah, you do hear Sis say, yeah, 2 minutes and counting as everybody kind of straps in. This girl has no idea probably what she's completely in for, because the last
I
time we did this, she
explained
was in the bowels of the ship and couldn't see anything. Her little mind's gonna be blown. As everybody straps in and we hit warp speed or hyperdrive or whatever you want to call it, we quick travel across the solar system. You have just enough fuel to get there. That's why Sis was kind of saving it till the very last minute. And as you come out of hyperspeed, everything comes to a resounding halt, and in front of you sits the Astrius Terminus. This thing is gigantic. It is nothing to nod at. It looks as if crystal, like spikes, have grown off of every angle of it. But they're not made of crystal, they're made of metal. And they've been attached to a much larger vessel at the core. All around it float smaller vessels and ships, sometimes housing maybe 25 to 50 people. These small communities that feed off of this terminus. Ships come in and out of light speed as they exit and enter the orbit of this massive space station. You'll be able to dock, no problem. The real question is, where would you like to dock?
Just as a heads up, Dev, if anybody approaches you and asks you to sign up for some charity and you can give them money, don't. It's a scam. It's not. Mm-mm.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
really?
They'll have a clipboard and everything. It'll look really professional. They got me my first time here, too. Don't do it, okay?
But
There are
No.
no spire princes giving money. None of that.
I always try to give something.
Nope. Not here.
And we're getting that space where we're gonna dock and we're gonna leave, you know?
Right, I think we should probably go the most sort of out of the way, nondescript dock we can find, with the least amount of foot traffic, if you know what I mean.
Just stay where we can see it, Dev.
As this begins to kind of go down, everybody's prepping for docking. Dev and Chas sit in the cockpit. Chas, you see him, he's nervous, he keeps gripping the handles, his sweaty hands making kind of squelching noises on the I guess the steering wheel of the cockpit, and he takes a deep gulp and he says, I can't go back in there, Dev.
Chas, I have to tell you something.
He probably says, I have to tell you something at the exact same time.
Same time.
It's awkward and super cute.
I'm sorry it broke your heart.
You didn't break my heart.
I did, and I'm sorry.
No, you're so good and clean and shiny. You always make the right choices, and
Look, listen, I've been out here in space, and it's been kind of awful, and I keep trying to do the right thing, and I keep messing up, and what I want to say is, you made a choice, and I judged you for it, and I'm sorry, because you just made the choice that you could have made. I shouldn't have expected you to. I mean, I didn't throw the race, and I ruined everybody's life by not doing it. And I've been on the run, and you did throw the race, but I know that I said unkind things to you, and I judged you for it, and
he goes, stop. He said, you throwing that race made my career. Or he's like, you winning that race and me throwing it made my career. Dev, it was a test, a trial. The High Mafia was sourcing you. You saved yourself. I did not. I followed their command. I did exactly what they wanted, and they got exactly what they wanted. They needed a high roller, somebody to be famous, launder money through my brand.
But I shouldn't have dumped you like that.
He looks up and goes, wait, you dumped me? I just thought you were upset. I didn't know that we were, like, broken up.
Well, I mean,
if you want to break up, that's fine. I mean, I get it. It's been
No,
a while.
I'm
I'm
just-
sure you have feelings for Janice.
wait. I didn't. Hey, you're not.
I'm looking at Janice in the background because we can hear this conversation
Oh,
going on.
I'm sure.
And when he
I'm
says,
sure.
I'm sure you have feelings for Janice, I look over at Janice and I'm just like,
I bet there's, like, Teddy is sitting there with his hand on the comms, holding it down so that you guys are hearing everything.
And no
He has
lie,
his other little hand out with
Yeah.
like a receiver.
Yeah, it's like, boop, 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 boop.
no lie, Janice is like totally like keyed out of the entire conversation. Only one phrase, that he did something for the High Mafia.
Yep.
Chas made his career working with the High Mafia, and
Yep.
now Janice is like, I knew there's a reason I hated that motherfucker.
Completely oblivious
oh,
to the
as if
facts.
you're any better.
Hey, Chas, listen. This is really important.
You know, I'm gonna kill him.
What are we walking into? Are you gonna be okay?
I don't know. I told them that I didn't want to work for them anymore. They told me that I didn't have a choice, and if I didn't want to, and he kind of like reaches over just to one of the like HUD decks and like clicks in and pulls something up, which is just a news article. And he says, "When is that dated for?" You look. It's an article about him. It's dated for 2 days ago.
Oh.
He says they decided that I was not necessary, simply a asset or tool, so he gestures, they made another one of me. I don't think they got the nose right, though.
Wait.
What?
And he looks at the little hollow story. They made a fake you?
It's just a cyborg. Nobody knows.
Yeah, but no cyborg could race like you could.
Well, everybody's career goes down the toilet sometime. So then they locked me up. The High Mafia's big secret.
Wait, what are we walking into?
Well, Dev, you're literally taking me back to the people that captured me the first time.
Oh, no. No. You can't do that.
But you don't have a choice.
There's always a choice to do the right thing.
It's funny how you still believe that.
I do.
I don't know that I do anymore.
We're not taking you back to them. If they're going to hurt you...
As the like beam is like pulling the ship into the space station.
Mm-hmm.
If I run, they will chase all of you forever.
I don't care. Clearly you've seen the kind of life choices I make. I will always do the right thing to protect the people that I...
All you gotta do is hold up your end of the bargain, Dev. For both my life and yours, you gotta come through this time.
No, they're going to hurt you, aren't they?
I don't know.
Hyde,
Yeah.
we have to save Chas.
Yeah, I figured.
We can't. I'm not gonna risk that for you.
No, we have to save him.
Holy
goes-
shit, for once she and I agree.
It's his life or yours, Dev. And you know which one I'm gonna choose.
No, there's another way. There's always another way.
I'll talk to him. But I can't make any promises. If they put me on the spot, you know I would have to. I'm not going to let you go.
Look, they've got a fake Choss, which means they don't need the real Choss, which means they might...
I'll talk to him. That's the best I can do.
I like setting you up for drama.
hide.
I've got some ideas too, so. Get some ideas. Slip always has an idea.
We'll fix it. We'll fix it. You're not. I won't turn you over to them to die.
Dev, the last time you said you weren't going to do something they asked you to do.
I didn't.
And we both paid the price for it. Do you think I wanted to work for them? They're horrible. And they use my name to do horrible things.
Sorry. I won't let you down a second time.
He kind of grabs you by the chin and picks your head up and he says, "Stop worrying about me." What about you? What about Teddy? And your sister? And your lover? And Hanovi?
Wait. Who?
Well, Janice, I assumed
They're not together. No.
I mean, not
Says
yet.
the voice over the comm that's been listening in. Of course it's sister. They're like, listen, he looks, he goes, "Oh, I just assumed, since he, and you."
No.
You just hear yelling down the hallway.
Look, I all of this seems really odd to me too. I mean, the high mafias who put me there, I don't understand why they'd want to break me out.
I don't know either. Maybe we can find out?
Seems a little late for that.
I didn't know we were sending you back to the High Mafia.
Think you an honest here?
Kinda knew we were
Kinda
doing
knew that it was.
He's just like some weapons dealer. That doesn't
Yeah, you don't know him. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
It's just like, yeah.
We'll fix it.
So at this point, Janice gets up out of the common room and walks to the cockpit. Right. Dave, is this important to you, mate?
Yes.
Without even looking at Wesley, he pulls his pistol and points it at him and says, "I want to make this very clear. I'm doing this for Dev. We're keeping you alive and out of the High Mafia's hands. But after this, I don't want you anywhere near him ever again."
He takes the barrel of your gun and puts it to his forehead, and he says, "Then you should go ahead and pull the trigger. Because if you take me from the High Mafia when you promise to return me, they will never stop hunting you or him."
Yeah, so
Everybody calm down. Calm down.
that's a problem that we'll deal with when we get to it.
Next time.
Yeah. Almost. So,
Hanovi.
yeah.
Hanovi will also kind of chime in and say, "I already said, yeah, we'll figure it out.
And
Dead people are worthless."
he goes, "All right." And all 7 of you now, God, how did our crew to get to 7, exit into the Asterisk terminus. You dock. This place is bustling with creatures and commerce and people. This is definitely a black market. And you don't actually get very far into this. Before Hanover, you see the guy that you made the deal with. He's waiting on you. He knew your ship was coming. And he simply gestures for you to join him in it's kind of like a tavern or bar of some kind, space cantina. He has a booth reserved. In that booth is a interesting creature. He wears a dark hood. Next to him is a woman. Janice's sister.
Oh.
She sits there. She is missing an eye. She has had cyborg replacements clearly on her face and part of her arms. She sits next to this person. Her fingers drum on the table. Your contact slips in as he leads you over, and the 7 of you stand around the circular table. And the hooded alien creature pulls his hood back to reveal a kind of grayish skin-toned, probably half human, maybe quarter human. He has humanoid-like tendencies, I guess you could say. And he looks up at you and he says, "Please, have a seat. I'd like to speak about business." And that's where we're cutting today's episode.
Wait, is that supposed to be the High Mafia?
It's somebody representing them.
Okay, just checking. Okay.
And a sister we thought died
Was
in an
dead?
explosion.
And still blood out of Janice's nose, just non-stop today.
Jesus.
This is why you don't have family, folks.
Don't name anything in my campaigns because I will take it from you. Okay, here
But
we
then
go.
you'll give it back.
Let's quickly go around and do outro so that JB can hop over to his next stream. JB, you're up first. Tell us who you are, where we can find you online.
Hi, I'm JV, also at Drop the Die on Twitter. I'm going to be vacating the Zoom here, and I'm going to be heading over to the Venture Maidens podcast, where we're going to be playing Descent into Avernus. And tonight's going to get pretty dicey, it's going to get kind of crazy, and we all have secondary characters lined up, because apparently it's going to get rough.
Whoa, that's intense.
We're also doing a dice giveaway tonight. Because we hit level 2, we're going to do a dice giveaway every time we level on this entire playthrough of Descent into Avernus. So if you want some nice, pretty swirl dice, why don't you come over and,
and
we'll see if you can play.
We'll raid. Everybody at home, stick around. We'll go raid their stream when this is all done.
Please. It would make Celeste's night, and you only have to stick around for a couple of
And let
minutes
me
to
tell
say
you,
hello.
There's
And if
nothing
you're
I
not
love
hooked-
more than making Celeste's night.
Yeah, she deserves it.
She does. She's a gem. All right, cool. Moving right along to Jason. Who are you? Where
Yep,
we can
Jason
find
T, D&D DM from Twitterverse, talking all things TTRPGs and D&D related. I'm fucking shocked at this episode. I can't. I like slow blood vessels rupturing in my eyeball. Like this was, every moment was like, oh well, you know what? Here's Jason's heart. Let's just crush it for a second. So, yeah, next week's gonna be really interesting.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be fine, right? We only have 2 episodes left.
Totally fine.
What could happen?
Yeah, exactly. No cliffhanger that makes Janice feel like shit at all.
But his sister's alive.
Yeah, but
Is
working for who is the question? Or yeah, exactly. Is she a clone? Is she a robot? Who knows? Because Dot is evil.
I have an emote for that.
But yeah, no, you can find me, like I said, on Twitter talking about all things, and as of recently talking about D3 at Sea, which is a massive cruise that's coming in October of next year with celebrity DMs, all sorts of amazing sponsors. We just recently announced our player swag bag, which is going to include gear from Ultra Pro, including character folios, a custom-made miniature that you design yourself from Eldritch Foundry, a set of Die Hard dice, a dice vault from Talon and Claw, and much, much more.
Wow.
So yeah, we definitely make sure that our players have the best possible experience you can find in Destination D&D. So
Wow. There will be more information over the next year. I've no doubt about it. Because I'm get to be a lucky little dot, and I'm going. So you can come play some D&D with me on this D3HC. So I'll have some more info as well. I'm sure Jason, who you'll see around here on the channel over the next year. So get prepared. Trooper.
I'm Trooper SJP, and you can find me at Academic Foxhole on the Twitter, where I say things and Adelaide's like, "What are you saying?" And I was like, "What are you saying?" And it's awesome. And then you can find
Just
me.
like that.
It's just like that. Then you can find me on Twitch at TrooperSJP. And this Friday at 6 p.m., I'm going to do a solo RPG, and we'll see how that goes. It's based off of the game Solitaire, the card game. So we'll see how long that game goes. We'll see. Well, I've got a miner's hat and everything. It'll be fine.
Wow. Wow. Oh, Adelaide, you're last. I'm sorry. I was getting ready to move into my spiel, and I was like, I feel like I'm
Clever.
forgetting something.
Fine.
Sorry.
Fine.
Just,
My best
just the
sister.
captain over here.
I'm
no
just the
big
captain
deal.
of this entire fucking ship. It's no big deal. It's fine.
Yeah, tell us quick who
no,
you are.
I'm Adelaide on everything on Twitter, Instagram. Yeah, I'm super hyped for next week. I'm excited for the talk after this show because we got lots to discuss.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm gonna check out Troopers minor one shot, Minecraft.
No, I'll just be a miner. I'll be a miner lost in a mine. In a labyrinth.
Okay.
So, wrapping us up tonight, thank you everyone who gave bits and tips tonight. Very quickly to read some of those off because there were a couple tickles. I'll get to those here in a second, but I definitely want to say thank you to everybody who supports, including our Patreon. If you want to stay up on what we're doing, the best place to do that's actually going to be our Discord. That's where the Dotlight does its thing. So come join us if you don't already. And if you want to support the channel in a non-monetary way, simply hit the follow button. When you follow, you'll know when we always go live. And if you want to step it up a notch and gain access to some of the really awesome Dotlight emotes that have recently dropped, including Spoopy Dot, you can subscribe. There's a little spoopy for you. Oh, nope, that's not how that works. I will get to it in a second. I want to also say we're going to go record our after show, as Adelaide mentioned. If you want access to that, you can join Patreon. That's the best way to do that. And you'll get to hear all the behind-the-scenes things that we talk about, the conspiracy theories, and what's, I'm going to guess, is going to be a little bit of crush action tonight, so we're going to talk about our crushes. But we're going to let JB go. We're also going to go raid the Venture Maiden, so thank you all so much for tonight, and we will see you here again next week, 8 p.m., same dot time, same dot channel, for more Purloin Code, Scum and Villainy by Evil Hat. Thank you guys so very much. See you next week. Bye.